This was the first wave in the break. Comes in at a 3 for Edouard.
Yeah, just a nice little wave here. And just got...
Knocking out our event champion from last year, Taylor Jensen, as we shift gears into our fourth quarterfinal. It's Frenchman Edouard Delpero. Big shout out to Lindsay Steinrod, of course, just become mum of their new baby. And Nico will be listening in with Lindsay as they watch Edouard getting his first ride, surfing against Kai Sallas. I'm Sam Bleakley, and this is actually the second wave for Edward already, Josh Constable. So the Frenchman on a fast start on his Minval speed shape.
Yeah, that was beautiful surfing there for Edouard. He's obviously got a short little small 3-point ride, but staying busy, knowing that there's not many opportunities if he goes a little slow. So that was a really good wave. I'm surprised that Kai didn't have a look at that wave, Sam. This is a really nice wave. You can see Kai just not interested at all in that wave. So nice nose ride there, fairway out on the shoulder, away from the pocket. But these swoops, this is a little better. Tight 5, sole arch, and then a nice driving that one back to the pocket again. So yesterday, Edouard, he just got himself on beautiful waves and did some really, really good surfing yesterday. He was fired up. He was here early. He was one of the first to paddle out this morning. And again, so this is a really nice backup. He's trying to build the house, put some pressure on Kai Sallas.
But what about this battle, Josh? It's Kai Sallas looking like he's lining things up.
Yeah, this is looking like a nice wave. Kai up to the nose, nice 5, just driving through. It looks like he's gone back to his Blue Moon, different board to yesterday. Just getting a little wobbly there. There was a little wobble in the wave which kind of threw the momentum off for him, unfortunately. And if we're comparing this to Edouard's 7-3, Edouard was carving through those sections. So unfortunately, Kai playing the patience game, waiting just over 10 minutes to open his account. I don't think that's going to be a great score for him.
And we looked back to when Kai won his World Longboard title in 2023, of course, in Malibu. And you looked at some clips of him surfing in Malibu recently, and you reckon his surfing has got even better.
Yeah, it's scary to think, isn't it? Because he was world champion 2 years ago, and the surfing was phenomenal. And then a clip popped up of recent trip to Malibu, and man, the nose rides. And I got to surf with him and hang with him, and this is what he was doing, these 5s, but he was nose riding, hanging 10 from the start to the finish at Malibu. But look how fast he's going right here, really committed. But unfortunately, just here, just trying to engage that rail, and there's just a little bump, and it just kind of still super smooth, super nice surfing. But I just don't think he's going to need to drop 2 really good scores, and that one's not going to count right now.
Of course, from Waikiki, the area where Queen Iluia Kalani to Winky Pop just east. In 1999, Shane Dorian said no kook has ever won at Bells and no kook ever will. It's a really difficult wave to ride, and the longboarders are now here for their 3rd Bioglan Bells Beach Longboard Classic, learning to love this cultural hotspot, the food, the waves, and of course the Frenchman Edouard is absolutely on fire, as you can see on your screen, surfing against Hawaiian Kai Sallas all the way through to the inside.
Swooping and really working over the dead sections, but here it is, Sam. Nice nose ride here. A little bit out on the shoulder, but here, like driving, and he's drop knee, and he's just swooping, and he's staying busy through these sections.
Yeah.
The judges are appreciating that surfing. Great 5 here, bringing it all the way through to the inside. And it's just here he comes up into the lip line. Completion
for the Minval just looks like it survived, as Sallas answers back with a high line, tall and cool, and then strikes the tip, but recognizes that that wave is not a goer. Adding to that 7-3-3 as Sallas now shifts gears, high line into a 10. Long time locked in that lifting 5, walks out and then into a nice cut back, and then just comes off the white water. Takes a high line, he'll now drop lower into the wave, keeps that trim speed going, and there's another 5. Can he hold it into a 10? He walks out, and he just doesn't quite come through to the finishing part of that wave as he gets into the shallows.
And then Kai, a little bit bigger wave, nice 5, really committed, like tight in the pocket, high on the wave, really nice nose ride, and then driving back to the pocket. So Edouard, a little bit more speed and acceleration through the waves, and Kai's just trimming We saw Edouard a little busier. Nice 5 here, big 10. And then just not quite getting down, a little bit incompleted nose ride, but in control. But this was a big part of the wave right here, Sam.
Yeah, amazing nose riding from Kai Sallas. High in the lip, hooked on that really tight lifting, clean, critical 5 there as he pulls out of that and then goes down into the cutback and not able to ride this wave all the way through to the inside. It was 11:42, and that means that that tide already starting to drop as out of priority Kai Sallas is up chasing a 6.84, kicks out on his single fin moontail there, as we can just see him paddling back for a little reposition. As we can now see Kai Sallas on a really incredible locked 5.10, lifting, styling, Hawaiian grace, back to the tail, cuts back, looks cool as a cucumber as he engages that rail with finesse and eyes up the opportunity to work the footwork and the angles as he sets himself up again through to the mid part of the wave and stalls it for a high line. Can he keep control? He just about manages to drive out of that nose ride, and that opening 10 was brilliant.
Probably wasn't as big, but here it is, 5. Holding it. Judges like that big 10, bolt upright, big carve back to the pocket. Again, different turn to Edouard's. Flowing here, just waiting for this one to stand up. He is calm, isn't he? He's not rushing, he's not waiting for that timing. Nice little 5 there, little hung up, but it's on the shore break. There's nothing else he can do. But look at this wave here. Edouard, he needs to perform on this wave.
Straight to the 5 on his Minvel. Holds that 5 on his 2+1 right in the pocket. Great clean footwork. Widens the stance, super low.
Wow,
the
lay
back. Uses that hand to drag and drive and then into a drop knee. And then feet crossed. And now as the wave gets deep, can he trim back through? It looks like he can. Touches that 5 and that wind gets gusty and strong.
Here's a replay of it. So 5, holding it through the section here. 4 steps back. Here, starts to turn, then drops the back arm back. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Unique point of difference as well.
Yeah, a little bit more performance driven and trying to, I don't think the judges will love that sort of hop, the Huntington hop. But, and here just, unfortunate wind.
Up and riding Edouard, a 6.13 for Kai, not enough. So he's still chasing a 6.84. Edouard waiting for that 4th wave to be scored as he gets his 5th ride now. Up and riding right through the inside. Things get a bit bouncy and bumpy here for Edouard, but he's staying poised, stretching for a touch of the 5 and then a little down carve again. And what we are seeing now from Edouard is a unique kind of layback. Edouard from improving his situation.
Nice 5, great 10 there, committed. I was actually looking at this wave going, oh man, not much time left. I wonder if Kai should have gone, but we hear the whistles. You could hear the whistles. That's Carney and the rest of the Waikiki team letting Kai know that there's waves coming. So this is a great wave, bringing it through, and again, that layback gouge out of the lip.
It was a strong finish for mid part of his turn as we can see Kai on a big overhead beast driving through the middle of the wave, finding the 5. He's got to hold on tight here. This is a very important ride for the Hawaiian 2023 WSL World Longboard Champion, chasing a score.
Needs a 10, needs to get a 10 here, doesn't he, Sam?
What a big wave though, JC. Is he going to end in style as he just drives into a down carve there and he's just going to control it? Woo. There it is. It's in the judges' hands with 3 significant scores to be tabulated. Not enough on Kai's 6.13, but that was a big wave. Made up for the previous wave. But what about this? It was all speed off the bottom at this moment.
Yeah. Maybe a missed opportunity on the start of the wave. Had to drive around it, wait to get to the nose. Big carve, huge wave. Here, another great 5. We're waiting for the 10, but opportunity didn't come. But 2 really big nose rides, big carve. Comes onto the inside. He's a long way down near Winky Pop, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then that shore break. Crazy.
Look at the speed of this section. So a 6.9 for the 4th ride of Edouard, and considering he wasn't able to make the inside section, that did improve his situation. So Kai's chasing an 8.06 on this.
This needs to be the best score of the wave. It's definitely the biggest wave we've seen. Some big nose rides. Finishing strong here on the inside, driving away from that, and then great surfing from Edouard. We sort of picked him yesterday as a big favourite. Conditions change. Waves got big and powerful, and the big swooping turns. Look at him fired right up there. Some dad power there, isn't there, Sam?